Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Super Subs podcast. Two bros talk all things footy. No Super Subs this week. Just given it's been international break, I haven't been able to catch many games during the weekday. Mark Cucurella did score a banger. Saw that.
Cucurella.
Yeah. Um, so today we're gonna do a little game. Well, not a game, but we're gonna do a prediction just given that the transfers are over. I wanted to do this earlier on, but I'm glad I listened to Narv just because there were a ton of transfers that kind of crossed over at the end last day.
And it's
So,
kind of nice just to get like 3 games, just get a glimpse of how the teams looked as well, but
yeah.
making like a
So we will both create our standings, kind of talk through it. And yeah, so let's get it started. Hi, get it started. Um, all right. So who wants to go first? Should we go like
let's do like
relic?
1-1 or yeah, we'll go
Okay.
like bar for bar.
Okay. Let's go with relegation battle. So let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see this, Narv. Got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this one will be your kind of tier list, and the
hmm
second tab will be mine. So who's number 20 for you? Last place.
For me, Leeds.
Leeds.
Leeds. Their fans kill me when they do that.
Um,
Stabbing themselves.
yeah, I also have Leeds. So let me move that down here. Do you want to touch on maybe why you have Leeds?
They just don't have like the quality and based on the games I've seen, like they don't look that great. I will say I am a fan of one of their midfielders, that Stanch guy. I think he's pretty good. Um, but like with your biggest threat being Dan James, um, it's kind of a L.
Yeah, I see them struggling to get goals too. I know they signed DLC, but he's in the Carabao Cup, dude. He had three chances like within the 6 yard box, and absolute. I have no idea. Like a grandpa could sit there and score like these tap-ins and somehow missed all three chances. But yeah, I think they're just gonna struggle to get goals.
Yeah, they lost to a League One side team too. Couldn't be me.
I was gonna say, okay. Um, and then who do you have 18th and 19th? We'll knock those out and then I'll kind of stop sharing.
18th I have Burnley, and then 19th I have Wolves.
Okay. So you got Burnley 18th, and then you got Wolves. Am I blind? Oh.
Yeah, I just don't see Wolves like losing Cunha is just such a big loss. I like Jorgen Strand Larson, but like I just don't know if he can do enough to carry the team.
Yeah, so I'm similar. I have Wolves 18th, and then I have Burnley. How do I stop sharing this? Oh, here we go. All right. Yeah, I have Wolves 18th and Burnley 19th too. I think, yeah, speaking on Wolves, I also think that they are uh, just struggle to get goals, and Cunha is such a big loss.
Yeah. I did like some of the Burnley transfers though. Like I mean, granted, if Broha can stay healthy, he should be able to add a little bit of firepower. I've already said I wish we went after Leslie from Chelsea. Like he's still not a fully developed player, but like he's definitely got potential. I think he's a pretty good player that they got for the cheap.
And then they have some like experience too in the back there with Dubravka in goal, and Trafford was a huge loss. But then they also have Kyle Walker, who's you can definitely tell he's lost a lot of pace and like a step. But I mean, still having that type of experienced player helps. But
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be really tough for them to stay up as well.
Yeah.
And then for Wolves, I don't really see like any transfers that they made that I'm like, ooh, he could
I
really.
I did like John Arias, but he still doesn't replace Cunha, I don't think. He's an exciting prospect for sure, though.
Yeah.
But I just seen the few games from the Club World Cup from him.
All right. So that's our relegated teams. So now we will go to the next tier here. Let me share my screen. Let me know when you got it.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll go 16 and 17.
All right. So 16th, I had Brentford. 17th, I had West Ham.
West Ham. Okay. Um, for me, I had 16. I have this might be a one of the first shockers of the day, but I have Nottingham down here. Oops. And then so oh, sorry for your ears.
Ease.
And then 17th, I have Brentford. Uh, okay. So talk me through your, I guess Brentford, we both
Yeah,
have
kind of
Brentford, so we
can.
can knock that out.
Yeah, Brentford, I think, is just Thomas Frank, big loss. Although I'm interested to see how Keith Andrew does, because like Thomas Frank did kind of come up the ranks as well. Kind of started off as an assistant, but I mean, losing like 40 plus goals combined with Embuemo and Wissa, that's tough.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. Again, they did sign potential replacements in Reece Nelson. He's on loan, and Tora. He's, I
Oh,
think,
I like
solid
him.
and
Yeah.
he'll be good. I know we're fans of him, but I think Kelleher, this is going to be his first kind of time in the big stage because for Liverpool, he looked good every time Allison was out. And people were like, oh, he could play for a top team. And then I guess Jordan Henderson also like I don't know how much playing time he'll actually get, but like just having that experience in the locker room. Because you remember him in the Liverpool days, how he was basically an on-field coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but I will say if Brentford, I don't like we obviously have them staying up, but like if they do somehow end up getting relegated, they do have like a few pieces where like they could still play at the Premier League level. Um, that's why I do have them safe is like they do still have those Premier League proven players, like especially at the back.
Oh yeah, a lot of experience back there. Like Rico Henry, he's gonna be healthy this year.
Mm.
Vandenberg, and they still got Lewis Potter. I was surprised they were able to hold on to him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we'll move on to why you you had West Ham
Uh,
at 16.
yeah, I think transfer wise, yeah, they got Mateus Fernandez, but I don't think he's the needle mover. I like him, but I don't think he moves the needle that much. And I think Paqueta, he had a really off year last season, and I think that has to be due just to the gambling issues going through his head. So maybe he can improve, but in terms of like their defense, like Max Kilman's, he's just been disastrous since the transfer. Tadebo's kind of been bad. Um, their midfield, like Suchek, I've never really been a fan. I think I don't know. It's just Graham Potter. Just his stocks are kind of going down.
Yeah, I didn't. I have West Ham a little higher, but so I'll talk about them like why I think they should be higher.
Hmm.
But I'll talk about Nottingham and the reason that I think they're gonna really fall off this year. They were one of the potential relegation teams last year for me, and I'm thinking now that it could be them. But the main reason is just because, yeah, they didn't lose anyone, but um, I don't know, just with like the whole situation with Nuno and if he stays or goes, I think that just might be a big distraction. But then also just having to play European games,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that just might be an issue for them. Um, I do
They're
think
in
they made a
Conference League or I think
the
they
so the
Europa
last
League because they took Palace's spot, right?
Palace, yeah. So they
Mm.
finessed their way. Um, and again, they didn't really lose anyone, and if anything, they got a lot better because they signed Zinchenko, they signed
Dan Ndoye, I love that dude.
Ndoye, Douglas Luiz, which I'm not a huge fan of, but like still, James McAtee. I was surprised he was able to go. Your boy from last year from Ipswich, Hutchinson,
That's right.
and then they signed someone else too. But oh, they signed that one kid from Strasbourg too. So they did level up, but like again, with European nights, I don't know. They might struggle. And like I don't know, at times last year, I feel like they got lucky in a lot of those games where they like keep sitting back, defend really well, but I don't know if that's sustainable.
Hey, I did say like I didn't really enjoy their games last year. I mean, it's cool to watch them like high up on the table, but like as a neutral, it was pretty boring to watch because they just relied on counters.
And they really fell off towards the end of the season.
Hmm.
All right, so let me share my screen again, and we will cover uh, positions 11 through 15.
So
So
more of the
give
mid.
it to me in give it to me in order.
Okay, so number 11, I have Everton, Toffees, and then number 12, I have Nottingham Forest. Um, I should have taken the European nights. I forgot they finessed their way. Anyways, 13, I have Palace. 14, I have Sunderland. Hey, how'd you read my mind? And then 15, I got Fulham.
Okay.
If I remembered the European nights, I would have maybe switched Forest and Fulham. But yeah, I'll stick with this.
Do you want to switch it? You still have time.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. And Fulham all the way up to 12?
Switch Fulham with Palace. So everyone, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's good with me.
All right. So for me, 11 through 15, I've got, let me go backwards. So I've got the Sunderland boys, and then 14 is where I have West Ham. 13, I have Fulham. So I think very similar spot. 12th, I've got Brighton. And then 11th, I have the mighty, mighty Red Devils.
Oh, we
Bottom.
just missed out on top 10.
All right. So we both had so 15th, I had Sunderland, you had them 14th.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about them Black Cats.
Uh,
Rawr.
they're the they're basically like there's always that one team that's promoted that like becomes everyone's fan favorite. And I think Sunderland is even more of a fan favorite just of like the history. Like it just feels like prime time Barclays when they're back up. But I think they made some really good transfers. I think getting a pull like Xhaka is wild. He's gonna boost their midfield for sure. Um, being
Did
a
you hear about like how that kind of happened, I guess, or like how it
no,
went through?
uh-uh,
So basically, like when he was at Leverkusen, he got a call um from like the owner. of Sunderland,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna." He's like, "Just call my agent, whatever." Like, and then immediately, this was like middle of the night too. The owner called Jaka's agent and explained the whole thing. Like, we want you bad. Um, like, it's gonna be a suffering season, but you're the perfect like type of person for that. And like, he had like a long like hour talk with Xhaka, and he said like how he wants to one day become a manager too, and he said like he's gonna have to suffer as an owner to like learn a bunch. So he's just
Uh,
like really connected with Xhaka on a personal deep level.
do you know the story about their owner too? Speaking of the owner,
Oh, he isn't he like 20, like mid
20,
20s?
yeah, 27. He's our age.
Dude,
But
that's
like
insane.
when he was like a first minority shareholder of Sunderland, he was 23. And then when they got promoted to the championship, he was the majority, so he was 24 then, but crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Um, and
But
then
yeah, Xhaka, but like they also got a lot of other really good signings.
yeah, exactly.
I know Mark Guehi is no longer there, got recalled by Chelsea, but they did sign that one kid from Ajax. I don't really know much about him. That
Brian
Robbie,
Bobry,
yeah.
Bobry. Yeah, I think he's really like pace merchant, I want to say.
Oh, is he?
I don't know much about him either, but that's what I just hear from the streets. But being a former FM manager of Sunderland too, like some of their players are pretty quality. Like Maenda, he's a pretty good striker. I know when we caught some of their championship games, you're kind of a fan of his too. Um, I know Joe Bellingham is kind of a loss, but uh, I think they made some really smart signings in the midfield.
And I'm a big fan of Tolby too from Club Bruges. I thought that was a huge transfer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right. And then next, I had West Ham at 14.
Hmm.
And the reason that I had them slightly higher than you did, I do think Mateus Fernandez is the biggest difference maker just because of how versatile he is. And I think just him in the midfield is going to help the defense a lot. I think that holding mid, just that midfield was causing an issue for the West Ham defense. But I also like Diouf. I think that was a crazy pull. Somehow they were able to get him. But I do think they'll turn it around.
Mm.
And then who was your 14th again?
My 14th was
Oh,
for,
yours was Sunderland.
or
So
oh, sorry.
yeah, 15th was Nottingham for you.
And that's kind of like same points as you. Just with the European nights might be a little too much.
Okay. And then we both had Fulham at 13. Do you want to kind of talk through that?
Yeah, they just didn't make the transfers. They're very quiet in the transfer activity.
Yeah, they do have a good core of players though. Um, but towards the deadline day, they did make a bunch of transfers. Like Chukwueze, he's on loan, but and then Kevin from Shakhtar. A lot of people are high on him. I haven't really watched him though.
Yeah, I haven't seen them either.
But I just have trust in Marco Silva to like they have a solid core, but like I have faith in him to kind of like keep them mid-table-ish.
Mm.
So do you want to touch on who you had 11 and 12, Everton and Palace, why you kind of had them there?
Yeah, Everton. Um, I think David Moyes kind of got his team running now, and addition of Jack Grealish, this is the Aston Villa Grealish that we're seeing um, his first few games with Everton. So I think their attack's actually pretty nice. Drewsbury Hall, he's not really cut out for the Chelsea's level, at least definitely not as a starter. But like, I think Everton, he'll definitely flourish, especially in that role, um, picking up in the middle. Um, and then striker too. They got like a good pull with Barry. Um, 'Cause he was one where I thought he could have got like a, not saying Everton's a small club, but like an even bigger move. Um, and then Palace, I like Palace, but and Glasner's a great coach, but with Eze like leaving middle of the year, and then Yeremy Pino's a pretty good replacement, but I don't think he's quite at the level of Eze, especially because
Mm-mm.
he's not naturally a like he doesn't like playing straight down the middle. He's naturally like a out wide type player. Um, and then I think Mark Gahey still is going to want to move to Liverpool. It's like during the January transfer, like that could happen. Um, and if they definitely lose Gahey, it could be a little bit of trouble for him.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just do a little spoiler just so it's not like repetitive, but I had Palace 10th.
Mm.
So two places above, but I definitely would have had them, I think, top six if they kept Eze. I do really like what Glasner's been doing with the team, but I do like some of the players for Palace. Like, I do think you were high on Kamada when he first came on. I do think, like, especially this year, he's looked a lot better.
Hmm.
Um, so I think he's gonna have a big role. I do like that Pino guy from Villarreal, and then they got Chilwell, but then also I think this year like Sar, I know he's hurt. I don't know how serious it is. Like I think he should be back
Wait, did you see
after
his?
international.
I don't know if he was hurt or not. Because did you see his celebration where everyone thought he was
No.
dead? He was like, after he scored the header, he like laid on the ground, and everyone thought he was dead. Like, every referee called for a medical, and then like he just casually got up and like does a celebration.
Oh no, I missed that.
Dude, everyone in the stadium was like dead silent because they thought he like died.
Um, no, I didn't see that. But and then there's that other kid too that you were pretty high on.
Essay.
He Essay, yeah, I think he's gonna have a bigger role this year too.
Yeah, I
We
don't
didn't
know
really
why he
see
didn't
him.
really get many minutes last year. Maybe they were just trying to integrate him a bit more, but he came in during like the smaller cup games and stuff, but
Hmm. I think his first debut he scored too.
hmm.
And then yeah, so I had Palace at 10th, but yeah, for me 12th I had Brighton. Um, for me, just I think I don't really remember them really making too many upgrades in the transfer window. But again, like they always go under the radar and sign these like people that are like pretty unrecognized and stuff like that. So they made some really, they did make a really big signing for like their standards and De Kuyper from Club Bruges left
Yeah, I
back,
like
but
him.
he's solid. Um, so I think it is big that they were able to keep Baleba, but I don't know. That midfield is just doesn't really speak to me.
Yeah, and Brighton's like they're like the perfect quote from Forrest Gump. Life's a box of chocolates, never know what you're gonna get. Like
Hmm.
sometimes they're just like on it, and sometimes they just get completely exposed. They definitely play kind of gung ho at times, like all or nothing.
Yeah. And Hertzler, like, he likes these types of players where they can play multiple roles, like that Wafer guy,
Hmm.
Ayari. He's kind of moved all over. Um, like their front three, like attack, is pretty strong, but I don't know that. And then 11th, I had Manchester United. Um, I think just that midfield is going to be a struggle,
Shame,
and we've seen
shame.
it already in the
Yeah.
opening few games.
Hmm. Hopefully, January transfer we can. Well, even though the transfer is done, like if you can, or you can loan at any time, right? Or
No, that's over. Yeah.
Okay. Loans are
Like
part
you,
of transfer window as well.
yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Because I saw we were
yeah,
linked to like a lot of United fans were against it, but I was like, I wouldn't mind it. Was there was interest in Conor Gallagher, uh, bring him in as like a short-term loan.
yeah. I'm surprised that fell through, and like a lot of United fans were against it.
Yeah, it's just they want like the big names all the time, where it's like sometimes you got to go after the niche player that fits that role.
Oh yeah, he would be the engine of that team.
Hmm.
All right. So now we can move on to, let me share again. Um, all right, let me know when you got it.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll go high mid table. So 7 through 10. Who do you have?
All right, number seven. This is where I have my United boys.
Wow.
Um, Eighth, I have Newcastle. Ninth is Brighton, and then 10th is Aston Villa.
All right. So for me, I'll start backwards just because you got a sneak peek already with Palace at 10th. And then I have Villa at ninth. And then eighth, I have Everton.
Oh,
Or sorry, seventh. And then eighth, I have Newcastle.
oh, dang, we got Newcastle same exact spot. Villa only a spot away from each other. Interesting.
All right. So we touched on Brighton a little.
Hmm.
Anything else you wanted to add?
I think the only thing I had on Brighton was like, yeah, they're gung ho, but I think Hurstler, he was like fully gung ho last year, where I think he'll have a bit of learning to implement. Like, he'll definitely have learned his lessons a bit more, I think, coming into this season. Won't be as naive.
Hmm. Yeah, we've seen it with the opening games already. Like that defensive line isn't so high.
Yeah, yeah, they're not crazy. Which team you want to touch on next? You want to touch on Villa since we kind of both had them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just signings weren't great. Yeah, Sancho, ugh, Lindelof, or 2025 Lindelof, ugh. Um, Losing
They got
Jacob
Europa League
Rams.
too.
That's right. Yeah. Um, I think they should have got like a. I mean, they got that. Um, I always forget how to say his last name. The guy from Nice, uh, Jefferson, not Jefferson,
Busan.
Gusan. Um,
Busan. Yeah.
yeah, I think he's good, but I think they could have got like a backup striker maybe. Just because Watkins kind of aging there, and then losing
Yeah, they
Jacob
did get
Ramsey too. I think he was a kind of a big loss.
oh yeah, Ramsey's huge loss. And that's unfortunate they like didn't want to part with him, but kind of like had to just for
Money or
money. Kind of
gotcha.
like since he was like the academy player and stuff like that, so
Mm,
to meet the PFA
gotcha.
rules. Um, but for me, I do really like the midfield though. I think they're stacked in the midfield. Especially Harvey Elliott, I thought was a brilliant
Mm.
signing for what, 40 mil? I thought that was kind of a steal because he's what, still like 22 and he can make an instant impact. But yeah, the striker, dude, just I don't know. Watkins, he had a disappointing last year, and I don't know. It just seems like it's taking a hit on his confidence, and they don't really have anyone else that can play the true down the middle striker role.
Yeah, and just Watkins at this age, like being playing like 2 games a week is that's gonna be a lot to ask of him. Um, but yeah, I agree. I do like their midfield. I kind of wish they kept that one kid, Enzo Bencera. I think he's at Benfica now. He's pretty good, but they kept like Ross Barkley over him, which was surprising. But
Hmm.
um, yeah, they're gonna have to kind of rely a lot on Morgan Rogers this year for sure.
And then in eighth, I had Everton in eighth. Again, it's Losock FC this year. I think they're just
Their
they
vibes.
yeah. And there's one guy that like no one's really talking about, and he hasn't made his debut yet, but um, their left back from Bayern,
Mm,
Osnu. Like a lot of people are like high on him. That Moroccan kid, he's like 19, and he came out of Barca's academy. So he's definitely a player to watch when he's healthy. But yeah, I think just all the signings they've made have been solid, like for Everton, and I think David Moyes is a really good coach. So
Hi, I'm David Moyes.
yeah, I am. I like him. West Ham did him dirty.
Yeah, paying the price for that. Um, and they got good backups too. I feel like where if they do need people off the bench, they have some reliable players off the bench.
Hmm.
Um, and then eighth, I had Newcastle. You had um, oh
I
you
had
you had
Newcastle
Everton.
too.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh no, I had I had Everton seventh and Newcastle eighth.
Okay.
Um, oh yeah, and real quick with Everton, like that midfield, I do think it's like so nice how much like of a choice David Moyes literally has a 1A midfield and then like a 1B. Like he literally has Dwight McNeil coming off the bench, Alcaraz at times. He has Tyler Dibbling. So it's insane. But yeah, enough of that. We'll move on to
Their vibes. Yeah.
they are
Sure.
eighth. So we both had Newcastle there.
hmm just Isak. Um, that's that's a big loss. What he provides. That I know you said you kind of are a fan of the signing they made, like of the player who he could become, but like
Hmm.
I just haven't watched enough of his games. I know he hasn't even got like 20 plus starts at Stuttgart. Um, I know he had like an impressive Euro campaign with the under 21s, but like I just haven't seen enough. And
Yeah.
Wissa, I mean, he was pretty good at Brentford, but uh, I don't know if he can like replicate that type of year.
Hmm.
Um,
And I think like with Brentford, like his profile was pretty good because like Mbemo, like, he was kind of like he would be like the outlet, but the guys making runs behind were it was typically Wissa. Um, whereas like with Newcastle, I feel like they need more of that striker that, yeah, they can run in behind, but also like carry the ball, link up, and that's
mhm.
not really Wissa's strength. But I do think like that Nick Woldham made will fit in perfect there.
Yeah,
But
because I think Walter made like just from what you said, like he's pretty techy and is
mhm.
pretty good at link up play too. Like I think Alonga he'll have a pretty good year with Newcastle. Um, Probably one of the fastest players in the league. Like got to take advantage
Oh
of
yeah.
him running in behind.
And I mean Jacob Ramsey was a really good signing to add some depth and uh to that front three, but like again, they're so reliant on like Joe Linton, um, who's the three? Joe Linton,
Oh,
Bruno,
Tonali,
and Tonali. Like
it's an
one of
engine.
those, yeah, one of those guys go down though, and you can tell they're kind of like off. So like again, like with Champions League, I wish they made a few more signings like in the midfield there
Yeah.
because
I
they're a
mean,
little
they
light.
still like Joe Willock kind of fell off.
Yeah. And like Lewis Miley, like he's still a kid and like he's impressive for his age, but like no, you need someone that can like come in for because I mean Joe Linton's hurt, but like who are they gonna like step in for him, you know?
Yeah. Um, yeah, Eddie Howe. But I mean, Eddie Howe is a good coach, so I feel like they'll still cause problems. We've kind of seen that with the start of their year,
Yeah.
against Liverpool, being down a man, still putting up a fight. So
And then in seventh, you had Manchester.
Yes,
And I had
sir.
Everton. So I'll let you touch on some other like why you think seventh, pretty impressive, just missing the Europa League spot.
I think I mean we definitely bolstered the attack and I know I have a feeling like it's a little bit of biasness, but also just off of feeling because Amarin really was pushing for a midfielder. It's just he was really pushing for Baliba, and I think we wasted a bit of time on just targeting Baliba and not really exploring other options. So I feel like January time frame, like we're definitely going to get a midfield in there to run the pivot. But I mean, I think attack wise, like we've definitely upgraded. It's a matter of just putting away the chances, and then backline I'm pretty comfortable with. So and then having one game a week, uh, gonna help. So
Over under for Sesko, um, 9.5 goals just in the Premier League.
oh, just a prem. Whew. Uh, I'll say over. He'll get 10.
You think he'll get double digits?
Well, what if it's like a 5 goal, 5 assists? Like
Nah, nah, we're talking goals here.
just goals. What if he gets like 13 assists? Like crazy.
Okay, yeah, we'll speak. We'll revisit this.
I think he'll get 10 goals. I think if he doesn't get 10, that would be disappointing. Even though Bundesliga he only got 13, but come on, we splurged on you, man. You got to get at least 10
Yeah,
for us.
I'm taking the under there. So we move on.
Hey, like Jokeris, we're gonna take advantage when we play Leeds. Get the PKs and stat pad.
If he gets to see the field.
Oh, he will. Yes, sir.
We'll see. All right, so next we'll do the European UEFA spot. So just a sixth place. Who do you have in there?
Sixth place, I got Bournemouth. Cherries.
Copycat. I also have Bournemouth. So I won't share my screen, but yeah, so I'll just update the table here. That's impressive. Bournemouth.
I think
Uh,
they're out of the entire Prem. I think.
Ow, my knee.
Oh,
Banged on the
jeez.
table.
I think
I.
out of all the teams in the Prem, they have the most exciting team to watch, enjoyable team to watch, I'd say. They're like very free flowing. Um, like they're all they're also vibes, but also really well coached,
Mhm.
well drilled. But like as a neutral, it's always like just refreshing to watch them. I think they're up there as like, and if not the best team to watch.
Yeah, I think especially being able to keep Semenyo, that's huge. And again, it's only been a few games, like you said, but like their back line, like they lo basically lost that entire back line, but they still look so solid as a group. And I think the biggest, one of the like most underrated signings is Alex Jimenez, who he's still young. He's like 20, but Adam Smith was like, yeah, he's a captain of the team at right back, but he's at times a liability, especially at this age. And this kid, I haven't really watched him, but he's supposedly a very exciting prospect. So, um, everything always kind of comes down the left. I don't know if maybe that's also Semenyo's side, but I think it will help like David Brooks on the right side too, just having a fullback that can run and help you out.
Hmm And it's crazy. It's just these few games that the season started, like they've already looked really good, and haven't even like they've had players out injured, like key players like Clivert's still out. Ryan Christie was hurt I think first 2 games, so add some of those pieces in too. Like, yeah, they'll look good.
Yeah, I think Tyler Adams, he's been really impressive for Bournemouth, but if he needs to stay healthy for this team to continue, just because he does so much for that team that goes unnoticed, like
Hmm.
defensively, and
Covers a
he's a
lot of ground.
workhorse. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that attack is scary.
Hmm.
All right, so now we will move on to uh, let's share here. All right, we'll fill out the rest of the table. Um, so we'll work backwards, Narf.
All
Who do you
right.
have in fifth?
Fifth, I got the Tottenham Hotspurs. Big news, Daniel Levy stepping down.
Yeah,
Wild. I know a lot of Tottenham fans happy with that. Did you want my fourth place team?
yeah, let's do it.
Fourth, I got their direct rivals and the Gunners, Arsenal.
Oh,
That's my hot take, I think, so far. And then three is Pep. And then number two is your boys.
all right. And then Liverpool. All right. Um, Interesting. Okay. For me, fifth place, uh I've got Mr. Baldy.
He's gonna hurt
Uh,
himself if he finishes fifth.
Fourth, Spurs. Third, I've got the Gunners. Champions, I've got them boys. Second, Liverpool.
Runners up.
So that's our final table. Um, I'll
It's
save
gonna
these though.
honestly gonna be a failure of a season if Liverpool don't win the league.
Okay, the reason I have Liverpool finishing second is they're just like OD, where it's going to be a lot of pressure on them. I think that might get to them, especially a lot of these young players. And also, it's just a lot of new faces
Yeah.
where that might just be an issue. Like, obviously, they've got a lot of talent, but like maybe it's going to just take a year for them to kind of click, you know? Like, that's a lot of new faces.
Yeah, they've definitely lucked out the first three games. Like I don't know if the luck can keep going like this at this rate, because I mean they've been fortunate to go away with 3 points, but in each of them, but like also at the same time, it's like you would think their struggles would be front end of the season more than the back end. Like back end of the season is when they start gelling. So like picking up these type of wins early on is pretty crazy and is gonna come big because it's like they have faced like really tough opponents to start the year too. So picking up all points um, with like just now starting to gel too is like kind of scary in a way.
Is there any signings? Because, I mean, their signings were ridiculous, but is there any signings apart from Mark Gahey that they could have filled in a position or added some depth?
I think a Gravenberch replacement, just because I do like Endo, but he can't do as much as Gravenberch, and he's literally just there to, he's like a closer, basically. But I feel like they just need like a Gravenberch doppelganger,
Mm.
because Gravenberch, we saw his legs were kind of gone last year, towards the end of the year. Um, so I think that, and yeah, I think going after Gahey again.
Yeah, they don't really have a center back for Kanate and Van Dijk, and we know, Kanate is kind of he can't really play 2 games a week or multiple games a week.
Mhm.
Just his history, but I think Salah is going to be a issue. Not in terms of like he's going to be bad, but like they don't really have a backup for him. I mean, Harvey Elliott was kind of the guy. He's gone, so like, yeah, they can put Isak and stuff, but like, he's also going to be missing with the AFCON, and that's a pretty big chunk of time this year. I mean, it always is. So, I mean, that's one of your best players. He's going to miss a lot of time, and you don't have a true,
Chiesa maybe. He's
yeah.
not a true replacement, but like can fill in.
Hmm.
But I don't even know how much slot really believes in him. Kind of left him out of the Champions League squad.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Just all those reasons, I'm like, they are like clear favorites, just team sheet and like just their momentum, but I just feel like they've gotten a little lucky, like you've said, but also just it's a lot of new faces to.
Yeah. It's yeah, to your point, like just gelling with the team is gonna be tough, but like at the same time, even though we can use that as an excuse for them, like I think it should still be an embarrassment if they don't win the league with just how much they've spent. Like 150 for just one player, 150 million for one player, like you've got to win the league. And then adding Isak on top of that. Um,
Yeah.
so
And we'll see big personalities too. Like Isak, I always thought he was like a kind of a team guy and stuff. Maybe he still is, like he just has high ambitions, but I don't know, he was pretty selfish in the term like way he kind of went about this transfer window and like, if that type of personality seeps into your team, that can cause issues. Because
hmm
that was the whole thing with Liverpool. They all were kind of selfless
yeah. hmm
beforehand. Like they didn't have all these big guys. But um, we'll talk about now fifth position. I had City, you had Spurs, so and I had Spurs fourth, and you had City fourth. So,
I had Arsenal fourth.
oh, you had Arsenal fourth. Okay, so let's talk about, and then you had who'd you have second?
You guys, Chelsea.
Okay, we'll talk about Chelsea then. I had them winning the league, and I think just because it's been impressive what we've been able to do so far, especially without Cole Palmer, our best player. Delap's definitely a big loss, but I don't know. I just feel like we're really clicking, and just like there's multiple ways that Maresca has been able to like attack teams. And I think just his flexibility, like he's never like ingrained to just one single way he wants to play, like so versatile. And I think he's also been really smart in like how he manages certain players, like even Reece James, um, like he kind of easing his way in. So I don't know. I think I really, really believe in Maresca. So I think it's just our center back pairing might cause an issue throughout the season, but again,
Yeah, I think honestly, you guys have like I'd prefer your guys' death more than like Arsenal's.
hmm
I think like basically the B team that you guys have is like on paper could put up a fight versus other Premier League teams. So I think you guys are like really close to the finish line, but I think you're just like maybe a player or two away. Doesn't help Cowell's out, but and like I've always said, like you guys need to. He seems to be a fan of it, but like I still think the goalkeeping position just needs to get slightly upgraded. Um, I've always had that take that Sanchez not cut up for you guys, but
he started the season pretty strong, some big
hmm
saves.
You
And
guys really need to go after Diogo Costa. He's on the cheap, or should have gone after him.
yeah, and I mean, Garnacho, I think that was a really good deal. What we were able to get out of like you guys for
Have fun with him, man.
45 mil. Again, I think Maresca's the type of guy that he can manage these players, like personalities. I think he's gonna humble him real quick. So
Him and his brother.
I think if you can humble him, I think there's a player in there.
That prick. And Malfoy looking.
I can't wait till he enters back Old Trafford, kisses a
Yo,
Chelsea
I
badge.
hope. I don't wish injuries on palm players, but I hope
Nah,
Casemiro
that's
sticks
evil, bro. Nah.
Casemiro just sticks a slide tackle in there on them.
All
Um,
right. Who do you so you had Chelsea second,
yeah,
which
you guys are close, honestly. Player or two away.
Hmm. All right, so you had City third. Let me see.
Yeah, Mr. Balde.
All right, I'm not gonna lie, hot take. In my original list, I had City around seventh, eighth
Oof.
place. But I knew I would be called crazy for doing that, so I was like, fell into the pressure, so I just put him at fifth.
Dang, you get peer pressured?
I uh, I'm not gonna lie. I think Bournemouth is gonna finish above City. Should I just do make that change? I think City's gonna finish sixth, Bournemouth fifth.
Yeah, make that
Um,
change.
all right, yeah, let me do that. Um,
I just can't see them having another. I mean, third for Pep standard is bad, but I just can't see them having like another disastrous season in a row, back to back. Rodri being healthy, he looks honestly pretty good on his full debut back. I know he's not going to be the savior to like be the needle mover to runner-up or champions, but like he's definitely going to bolster them
mhm.
to not be as leaky in the back. But
I, yeah, I think that back line is just they don't really have a left back and a right back, and especially that right side is being exposed, and I think that's going to be a huge issue for them going forward.
mm,
And then they did make a lot of good signings. I mean, they have Marmoush for the full season this year. They got Foden. They've had them, but like Reinders and um, Shirky, but like they all kind of play the same type of role, you
yeah,
know?
it's hard to fit them all in. Be very
Yeah.
It'd be very congested if they all did play together.
And you saw like him trying to play Marmoush out in the wing, and he just doesn't look as
Mm-mm.
good. And like
Nah.
Shirky's got to be in the middle, like Foden, that's probably his best spot, but like it looks like he's kind of probably backing up Oscar Bob now.
hmm Unless he can play that left wing for Doku and well, we're still waiting on Savino too. Savino could
Yeah.
be the starter out there, so
And then
yeah,
you have
it's
Bernardo Silva, who's kind of like in that same
uh,
similar role, but I don't know. It
gotta
just
move
feels
on.
like, yeah, some of these signings, I feel like he should have probably signed a proper like. A lot of these guys are like tens type, like second striker, but like
For our team.
could have signed like a proper eight, like I guess Reinders, but like other than that, there's no one else really.
hmm
And then if Rodri goes down again, like Nico Gonzalez, Pep got swindled by him. So and then yeah, Pep is just losing it, especially like we've seen in the first few games, like some of the high line he's playing with this defense, especially like not much pace other than Kusanov.
I think City could have brought back I know you wouldn't want to hear it, but Lavia.
Oh,
Just because, like, I don't see him being a week and week starter for Chelsea just because of how many options they got for Maresca. So, like, I think he would have been a good fit for Pep and one
hmm.
that's not like the superstar 10 role type, but like proper proper box to box.
Yeah. All right. And then yeah, so I moved City down to sixth, Bournemouth up to fifth. And then you had Spurs at fifth. I had them at fourth.
hmm
I'll let you kind of touch on them.
Yeah, upgrade on the coach, upgraded position wise. Xavi Simmons, waiting on Kulusevski still. Uh, Kudus was a huge boost. So all around, like I think they have a strong squad. Just got to stay healthy. And Thomas Frank is underratedly good, or I don't think he's underratedly good anymore. I think he got that move because he was good.
Hmm.
So,
And they have a lot of depth there too, this
hmm
team.
yeah, they can rotate quite a bit.
And I mean, not much to add. I think Thomas Frank is huge, and what he does with like a lot of the players is he makes them better. So like a lot of
hmm
these players are already pretty quality, but he's just gonna make them even better.
Exactly. Like Richarlison wouldn't have really gotten a sniff under Ange, but like he's almost like a key piece for Thomas Frank.
Hmm. And then we'll see with uh Colomani too. Like I
Oh,
think
that's right.
He's a solid player. So,
Hmm.
all right. So fourth, you had Arsenal. I had them third. What are you
Yeah,
thinking there?
just it's a
That's a
little
big
bit
drop
of
off for them. So you're saying Arteta's out after this year?
yeah. I think Arteta would be out regardless. I think this is basically a win it or nothing for Arsenal. Like I think basically they have to win Champions League or Premier League for Arteta to keep his job. And I don't think they'll win either. And I think they'll have a drop off in the league too. Like they just I mean, even versus United, we exposed them a bit,
Hmm.
which is quite rare to see. Um, and it's just like on the attack, I really don't get scared with them still, honestly, until they get their set piece. Um, and so, I mean, you gotta collect 3 points to win the league. You can't like play for draws, and I think they're a team that they'll just be drawing a lot more games and winning just because I just don't, even with Eze added, I just don't see them that threatening.
Yeah, it's crazy to think they spent 300 million. Like they got Gyökeres and then they've got Eze, but like other than that, like none of these other attackers are like elevating that much. Like Madueke, he's not elevating this team necessarily.
Mm-mm.
He's adding some depth, but like, he's not elevating them. Like I think Gyökeres and Eze, like obviously they are, but even then, like they probably add 10 goals each. But to your point, like I don't see them like being like too much of a threat going forward.
Mm-mm.
Um, and like so 20 more goals, they'd be about the same as how much Liverpool scored last year, and it's just crazy to think that they like spent 300 million, but like that they're still just like just catching up to Liverpool.
Yeah, they needed a state like at the expectations, especially Arsenal fans and other fans in the league have of Arsenal. Like they didn't need a spend for depth; they needed a spend for like it's like a now or never type spending they needed to make where splurge on like the Rodrigo on top of Gyökeres. 'Cause they obviously have the funds, just didn't spend it that way. Yeah, so Arsenal, they gotta end with the trophy, otherwise Arteta's gone. Um,
And Arteta's been, I mean, we saw it in the first game with Liverpool, like he's still stuck on his ways, that very defensive minded. Like you have to change if you want to take that next step, and it just looked like he wasn't, which was really disappointing. Well, I'm not disappointed, but like I mean for
yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah, and even spending that, they spent good money on that Leverkusen left back. I was like, what are y'all doing? That Hanapke handicap
Hmm.
dude, um, they spent a good amount of money on him, and like I feel like Calafiori's already flourishing there, and they got Skelly as a backup. So yeah, it's weird. Um, so Arsenal, I think, are in trouble. And Saka, I think he's out till October, I want to say. So
They forgot the R.
yeah, they did. Well, I don't know if yeah, they did forget the R, even though the R wants to fight at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been.
They didn't really like pursue him like that, like, and they were like Real Madrid made it clear that he was up for sale.
Yeah. Well, I guess just Eze is that piece for him. I guess they thought, but yeah, Rodrigo would be crazy upgrade.
Yeah.
'Cause I think Eze could like even take Odegaard's spot at some point if Odegaard keeps putting these shifts in.
Oh yeah, he could rotate in the middle or like especially out left too.
Hmm. So, and then Havertz still out for a while. Gotta wait till he comes back. Um, yeah, so dark days is my prediction for Arsenal.
Which
Um,
is impressive. Still fourth, dark days. Y'all are gonna finish 11th. Dark days then over there.
it's not COVID days yet for Arsenal. Just the dark day.
No, that was yeah.
COVID day Arsenal. That was actually
Entertainment
yeah, that
101.
that wasn't vibes. It might be vibes to be in that locker room, but like that was pure entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And COVID United, ooh, that was pure quality. That was prime like O2
That was
Bar
peak.
Brazil. Yeah.
We haven't seen that type of United in a minute.
Mm-mm. Um, but I think we can wrap it up. I don't think we need to do a consensus because our tables seemed pretty close.
Yeah, I'll save the tier list and we can post that.
Post that. Sweet. Um, but with that, ladies and gents, that's all for this week. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll be back next time to talk more footy, highlight game-changing super subs, and drop takes hotter than a Derby's day. If you enjoyed the chat, make sure to subscribe, drop us a like, rating, and share the pod with your friends and family. Until then, keep the football chatter alive, and we'll catch you on the next episode, which is a very special episode. You will see why. Stay tuned. But until then, peace.
Peace.